He flaunted pictures of women he slept with at work while married to a co-worker. But when he tried to seduce my fiancée and got her fired for rejecting him, I didn't get mad. I got even. I stole something he cherished more than his job and mailed it to the one person who could destroy his entire world. If you've ever dreamed of serving justice to someone who thought they were untouchable, hit that subscribe button, like the video, and comment if you've ever seen karma come full circle. This isn't just a story of revenge. This is how I made my arrogant boss lose everything. I worked at a large manufacturing company, a place where the machines were loud, but the whispers were louder, especially when it came to our boss. Let's call him Brad. Brad was the classic alpha male narcissist. Tall, sharp suits, loud voice, and an obsession with control. But the most disturbing thing about him wasn't just the manipulation or the threats disguised as advice. It was his hobby, photography. He had a private collection. Not landscapes. Not wildlife. No, he took explicit photos of himself with the women he cheated on his wife with. Full-color graphic, with his face proudly showing in each one. He kept them in his office and showed them off like they were trophies. Even bragged about his conquest to the guys on production floor, like we were supposed to be impressed. His wife, ironically, worked in the same building, sweet, soft-spoken, a blonde who always brought homemade cookies to the admin team. Oblivious, or maybe just clinging to hope. I was in a long-distance relationship with a girl who worked in another office under the same company. Her name was Emily. Beautiful, sharp, driven. The kind of woman who knew how to handle herself. We kept it quiet at first, especially with creeps like Brad slithering around. But somehow, Brad found out. He always had eyes and ears everywhere. One day he made a comment. "So how's your girlfriend in city?" It wasn't curiosity. It was a warning. I knew the moment he said it that something bad was going to happen. And sure enough, during his next visit to her office, he cornered her, offered to mentor her, then got bolder, told her he had an empty hotel room, and she'd better impress him if she wanted to move up. She shut him down flat, told him she wasn't interested, and to never bring it up again. 2 days later, she was terminated. Restructuring, they claimed, but we both knew it wasn't a coincidence. I was furious. I couldn't sleep. My chest stayed tight for days. I kept playing it over in my head. This man not only harassed a woman I loved, but ruined her livelihood when she had the integrity to say no. I fantasized about yelling at him, knocking out his smug smile, but none of that would really hurt him. Brad didn't care about people's feelings. He cared about power and image. So I started watching, waiting. I noticed something interesting. He never took those explicit photos home. Too risky, I guessed. His wife might stumble upon them. He kept them locked away in his office. Months passed. I didn't rush. I knew revenge done right was like slow-cooked barbecue, not microwave leftovers. I stayed quiet, smiled when needed, even laughed at his terrible jokes. But I watched. Then came my opportunity. It was a Saturday. I was doing overtime, just me and the cleaning staff. I'd noticed before that the cleaning lady had a master key. I figured she'd unlock all offices when she came through. That day, as expected, she unlocked Brad's office while I was nearby. I walked in with a tape measure and a clipboard, pretending to check dimensions for a layout adjustment. She nodded and said, "Just close the door when you're done," then walked off toward accounting. My hands were sweating. I could hear the blood rushing in my ears. I closed the door behind me, walked calmly to the desk, and started digging. Top drawers, junk. Middle drawer, pens, receipts. Bottom drawer, bingo. In the very back, behind a stack of employee files and an old company planner, was a thick manila envelope. When I pulled it out, it felt like a brick. I opened it and nearly gagged. Dozens of glossy photographs, each more disgusting than the last. All starring Brad, with women who were clearly not his wife. One redhead, 2 brunettes, even one who still wore a badge from a competing office. The smugness on his face in each photo made my stomach turn. He thought he was untouchable. I stuffed the entire stack into my messenger bag, walked out, locked the office behind me, and finished my shift like nothing happened. But I wasn't done. A few days later, Brad left on a business trip, another outreach to a new partner company. Meanwhile, I took an extended lunch break. I carefully chose 12 of the clearest, most incriminating photos. In each one, Brad's face was visible, often grinning like an idiot. The women all had dark or red hair. His wife, platinum blonde. I drove to his hometown, an hour away, and pulled up to the closest post office. No cameras, no trail. I wrote his wife's full name on the envelope, slipped the pictures inside, sealed it tight, and dropped in the mailbox with no return address. Then I drove back and clocked in like it was just another Tuesday. It didn't take long. 2 weeks later, Brad didn't show up to work. That had never happened before, not even for flu. Then the whispers started. His wife had kicked him out. She filed for divorce. People said she found something graphic. The HR manager's assistant even said she'd heard her crying in the parking lot, holding an envelope, screaming he took pictures. A few months later, word got out. Her lawyer had destroyed him in court, took the house, maxed out alimony, and even filed a complaint with the company board citing sexual misconduct and abuse of power. He was asked to resign quietly. Brad didn't even fight it. He couldn't. His trophy photos had become his execution order. As for Emily, she bounced back, found a better job, and eventually we moved in together. Years later, she became my wife. We still joke about Brad sometimes. Not with anger anymore, just amusement. Because now we're happy. And he's probably alone, bitter, and without a shred of power left. Some people think revenge is petty. But sometimes it's not about anger, it's about balance. When someone abuses power and silences the innocent, justice doesn't always come from the system. Sometimes it comes from the quiet, patient hands of those they underestimated. If this story hit that sweet spot of justice for you, smash that like button and subscribe for more real tales of revenge that make your spine tingle. What's the most satisfying revenge you've ever witnessed? Drop it in the comments. I read every one. And remember, karma doesn't knock. It kicks the door down.